All right, what's up? What's happening? So, I really wanted to get started with this whole YouTube thing. Never really sure if I was ever going to get started with it. So, this is number one, and a lot more to come. So, this first one is really an introduction to what it is that I am going to be chatting about with you as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, someone who's still in the weeds, someone who's still building a business. That yes, my business has about 5 years already built onto it, but does that mean that all of a sudden I'm some big famous person and I have all this magical insight for you, that you don't really know if I made it or not, or how I made it, or if I'm like you, or if we have any kind of similarities that can get you motivated to really, really want to start your business? So let's get down to this. Hello, I'm Michael Sweet. I'm one of the owners of Silver Rose Bakery along with my wife Priscilla. We've been owning and running this business from the ground up for 5 years. Right now, to get to understand where our business is, we are in a crucial pivot point for the business. And that crucial pivot point actually comes in twofold. First off, it isn't like either the end, hopefully the end, of this whole COVID pandemic. And so there's a lot of businesses that are just not making it. They're doing terrible, they're going under. And then there's us. All of a sudden, we are doing fan-freaking-tastic. We're making plenty of money. We're sustainable as far as how our business is not going to have any kind of troubles, or at least foreseen troubles. And matter of fact, we're getting to the point that we already are in discussions with other vendors to begin looking for a commercial kitchen. Right now we work out of our home. We've been doing that for 5 years, and honestly, it's time. It's been overwhelming as far as how much effort we've put in and how much time every single day we have to put in. We're literally putting in 12 to 16 hour days every single day, it seems, when in reality we can build a business where it does not require us to put in that much time and still get the return on investment and the appreciation, the love, desire for what it is that we value so much, which is this bakery and its success. So what I want to discuss with you on this very, very first episode, this very first discussion, is all about you getting started in business, and how does that work when perhaps you have a full-time job, you have an idea, or you've been approached with something like an MLM, where you're part of this like little your little independent distributor idea that could become big. Maybe it won't, but you're not sure if it's something that you could take to the next level. Is it possible? Is it something that you can build a business around, that perhaps the expectations are realistic for yourself? The interest in the business is something that goes along with what you value, what you would define as would be something that would make you feel more excited. And if not, what the heck are you even starting a business for in the first place? So let's get started. Now, when we really started the business, it was kind of a transition. It is, do we keep our jobs? Do we not keep our jobs? I'll be honest. For me, it was pretty cut and dry. I'm very much, let's get into this, drop the career, making just about six figures for myself, and decided, okay, I'm done. Now let's dump this. Let's go into business full on with no money to even get to that's even coming in at the moment. And Priscilla with the ability to say, you know what, I am not the entrepreneur type. This is something that's brand new to me, and I'm not sure where to go. But I believe we can make something happen, and let's do it. I love baking, you love baking, but what is our plan exactly? What were we thinking of doing? Well, we had a lot of ideas and really didn't know. Matter of fact, it was really unusual for the business. We were starting out where I'm learning how to bake. I had no baking history, no experience in it, but I for sure was an initiator. I'm the type of guy who wants to get in there, create something big for myself, and then as well as for Priscilla. And I love having the fact that it's my wife who is my partner. someone who's also dedicated to wanting to build a business. And perhaps you don't have that second person, but you have that drive, that ambition to make something happen. So, what is it like to drop a comfortable career and go into business with zero money coming in, where you have to be successful? It is a do or die scenario. Well, what are some things that happens? You could tell yourself, listen, this whole entrepreneur thing is very much a weekend thing. I'll just do it on the side, make some extra cash, and eventually, somehow, magically, it's going to come to fruition? Are you serious? That's never going to happen. Well, I can get into it, and then if I need a job, if I'm just not able to get the work, then I can just get a part-time job just to hold me off for a bit. Yeah, that doesn't work either. How about you go in full on, and there is no hold bars. You continue on that business and continue to make it successful. You have to learn to figure those things out, which is basically what we did. So when we started the business, what did we do? We took advantage of any possible opportunity in the market to bake for, whether it's a small birthday, hopefully it was a wedding, whether it's introducing our products at a farmer's market, whether it's going out and meeting people and seeing if there is the right type of person who maybe might be interested into selling our products in their coffee shop or at their office or some product retailer. Well, we tried all those things, and matter of fact, what was great about that was we started to really discover what it was that we really loved. And guess what? We were doing terrible financially. I actually remember when we brought in $12 for 12 cake pops just because we wanted to get our name out there. $12 for 12 cake pops. We didn't even charge for delivery, and the distance was a good 20-minute drive just to the customer's home. Matter of fact, this is one of those rarities where the customer actually still is our customer 5 years later, and they are paying the full price plus delivery now because of how much they appreciate our business. But, when you are starting off, you have to understand some things first. Firstly, are you truly interested in what it is that you want to pursue? Are you a programmer who wants to build a new app? Is that something you enjoy doing and want to create it? Are you into direct sales, where something like an MLM, where you have to go and interact with people and get them to sign up for stuff? Are you into baking like we are? We are bakers, so we know that we have to produce something and then go try to sell it, or try to convince somebody that we can bake something for them in the future that they will really, really love. Those type of things can be really scary. Not only just the interaction with other people, but also the actual production of the product or service. It doesn't matter if you are getting into pest control, to automotive repair, into a bakery, into an MLM such as, say, like Mary Kay, where you're selling products that were already produced, where you do have a nice community you can work with, but you perhaps are not a salesperson, or you don't really understand a lot about the makeup industry. Those things are important. How important is the experience for you? Is it going to be bringing you a sense of uplifted happiness? Because if you enjoy it, if you love it, if you desire wanting to do more of it, then you are going to be successful. And I say that with caution. I say that with the caution that it is not a guarantee. You are going to have to put in the effort and explore. You're going to have to open up your mind to the understandings of why things are working, why things are not working, what you have to do, what new things you have to learn, what you're going to have to change. Those things are important. And then when you are not getting any income in, you're going to be doing that super quick. And you are not going to be waiting around to discover whether or not you're going to all of a sudden be magically successful. That's one of the biggest challenges of the first two scenarios I mentioned. The first scenario, number one, is I will have this new business on the side. That is, you have a full-time job. You are working full-time. You are paying the rent. You are putting food on the table. You have money for recreation. You have money for savings even. And so technically you're doing just fine, but you are truly passionate about this new idea that was presented to you. So you want to get started, but you can only do those things on the weekends. Perhaps you can only do them in the evening after work, and you have to keep it hush-hush to your boss because you don't want that guy to know about it. That is not going to work for you to build into a full-time career, to build a new small business from the ground up. Yes, there is a chance it can work. A very, very, very tiny one. And I'm honestly not a fan of tiny potentials. I want to know that if I'm going to put something and effort in, it's going to damn well work. It's going to happen whether I have to put in 10 hours or 10,000 hours. It has to work. And I'm going to be in it to win it. 110%. Now, if you're in the mindset, well, that little nook of potential is enough to make you feel like you're going to be successful, you are living a fantasy. And I highly advise you really take a look at what it is you want to do. If the career that you're in is bringing you fulfillment, is bringing you happiness, consider the option to not change. Perhaps it's where you're at that's the problem. Or if there's no problem, you're just in a jumble of whether or not you should be starting an entrepreneurial career, perhaps consider whether or not this is attributed to others trying to convince you to become an entrepreneur when that is not really what you want to do. I will be forefront and say you need to keep on with the career that you're in because you're already passionate about it, already love it. If it brings you fulfillment, it brings you happiness, and as a consequence, you have food on the table. You are going out enjoying vacations when you have time off. You are doing things in your life that are of high value to you already. Why would you drop it for a potential that doesn't bring you or potentially won't bring you as much happiness? That's a terrible idea. So if you are in a position where you are in a career, let's give a quick example because I know sometimes examples help. You are in a career as an attorney. Your parents made you want to become attorneys because they're attorneys. So you got into the big law firm and you're making lots and lots of money. You're making $250,000 a year. And there's plenty of food coming on the table. You have the nice car. You have the family that's being taken care of. The kids are in school. Everything is honky-dory. But you're not getting a sense of personal fulfillment. And so you start to think that perhaps if you do something different with yourself, perhaps if you start a new business that has nothing to do with law, but actually has to do with automotive repair. Yeah, that's a big difference, big transition, especially on total income. Perhaps that will bring you the fulfillment. So you start toying around with the hobby you already been doing on the side, not for money, but just for personal enjoyment. And you start to discover, hey, I really, really love this, and I wish I could actually do it full time and forever. And I could try it out. And I could try my skills on different types of cars, and then I can go places and learn more things about how cars are made, and then how are the new technologies that are out there, the new tools and equipment that I might be able to obtain, and perhaps I can even get paid for that. Then perhaps The value isn't the career as an attorney. The value is in the automotive industry, in the repair side of things. And then you can consider, am I willing, based on my values, based on who I am, how I know how I work, will be willing to drop the career that I worked for, that I do not have any interest in, and start a new career that I don't know how the business part of it operates, but I know how to do the work. I love the work. And well, I can learn how to operate the business. If I can do the attorney stuff from the ground up, as far as my own personal education, then doing the actual operation and administration and building a business, I'm pretty confident I can do this. Then perhaps you can get in it to win it. Drop that career as an attorney and become an automotive repair specialist. Someone that is professional, that people can come to you, you can go to people and provide the service that they are willing to pay for. Now, what I am not preaching here is, if you're not happy with what you're doing right now, just go and change and get into something completely different that you might be happy about. That's a terrible idea. So many people try to do this. What they're doing is like, I don't like my job right now in medical billing, so I'm going to go and become a Mary Kay independent distributor. Do you even like learning about the different types of products and services that, or the products that Mary Kay offers? Well, it's interesting, and I wear makeup, and I use a lot of different skin lotions and things like that. Yeah, but you're not personally dedicated to those items. You're also not interested in meeting with people and talking with people because you're in the medical billing world. Typically, those are about coding by entry. That would tell me, if anything, that you're not interested in really pursuing a career. Unless you find fulfillment in doing so. You really need to understand who you are, what you value, and what will bring you the highest of happiness. So let's go to number two. Number two type of person is the the part-timer. So the part-timer is the individual that decides, I'm going to go in full on with this new business venture and I am going to also have a backup plan with a part-time job. So my question to you, if that is the case, if that's what you're thinking, those are what your plans are, is to have plan A but also plan B, my question for you is, are you sure you're not really focused on plan B over plan A? Because my thought when I hear that is that plan B is of the higher importance. Or perhaps that the risk factor of building your own business from the ground up is too high of a risk, will not bring you the sense of happiness and fulfillment, and therefore you really need to reconsider that perhaps that you need to find a career, or if you're already in the career, finding the right job that will bring you the satisfaction for which you are seeking. So having a plan A for an entrepreneurial endeavor, for starting a business from the ground up with no customers, no income, no money coming in, and having a plan B simply doesn't work. It's plan A or nothing. Now, what does that mean for an individual who doesn't understand how a business operates or how that business operates? Should they really consider learning about how that business works before they even get started? Or should they just jump in and try to figure it out along the way? Well, my advice is kind of a twofold one. So for me, honestly, I'm very much, my persona is jump in deep and figure it out. And you're going to figure it out along the way, and it's going to be really quick when you figure it out. And it's going to hurt a lot. along the way. The better advice to give you, honestly, is learn something about the business. Learn about how it operates. If you want to, go read some blogs about it. Go online to different Facebook groups or other social media groups. Maybe even watch a whole lot of YouTube videos that have to do with that type of business and the industry. Maybe there's videos on the culture of that industry. Maybe there's videos on the skills and actually are training you how to do the skills. Maybe there's advice on business as far as that particular type of industry and what you can expect. I know in the restaurant business, there's a whole bunch of folks who are consultants that actually what they do is they put out a lot of YouTube videos about restaurant management, about starting a restaurant business, and the emphasis on their training and advice is only entirely focused on the restaurant industry. And I'm pretty darn sure that's the case in many, many industries. And that's an opportunity for you to get a head start and to get a little bit of a plan going before you jump into your business so that you have confidence in yourself to move forward. The third way has to do with the confidence, with the self-esteem for which you have in yourself to achieve your happiness in a new career that you build a small business from the ground up with no particular prior understanding of, or if you did have understanding of, then have in pivoting to owning your own business in the industry for which you have experience. Now, what I really want to stress here is your self-confidence in being able to do this. I'll give you a really good example. So for myself, I am 110% confident that if I jump into something, I can make it work and make it be successful. However, I am very much the type of individual that I really need a partner, someone I can buddy up with to also get on to get the venture going and wants to make this an adventure for the success of us both. And in my case, I had my wife. I still have my wife. We're doing awesome. The business is doing awesome. But if I didn't have Priscilla, then there's a pretty darn good chance that if I did the bakery on my own, assuming that all of a sudden I magically got interested in baking, it was Priscilla's passion before we even started the business, and I would have got into it and probably would have dropped out of it after a short time, even though I would have dived into the understanding of how to build a business from the ground up, what people are doing, what the market trends are. I would have been the expert in the baking business and would have not even got the business off the ground. But since I found what it is that I needed, I took full advantage of that and explored really how far I personally am confident in going, and was able to build my self-esteem, build my confidence to the point where the business is actually thriving because of that. Now, let me give you the perspective from Priscilla's point of view, and she's totally open with this being known. That is, she is very much a career woman. She is very, very strong at being a career woman, has a lot of management background in the retail world, and so for her, an entrepreneurial venture, starting a business from the ground up where there's no backing, there's no customers, there's no income, is terrifying, and is actually a personal struggle for her to decide whether or not she's going to be able to pursue something like that. So the idea of starting from the ground up, for me, getting going was like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Very exciting, very passionate, very motivated. But it can die off if I don't have that one major aspect to the venture, which was Priscilla. In Priscilla's case, we need to get sales. We need money right now. Otherwise, the business is going to fail. No money's coming in. We need to get this moving. Very much more of a fear establishment, but still with the self-confidence that she can do it. this can happen. And the knowing that she has me there was also a benefit to her. So I can also not stress enough having that camaraderie, or at least some other folks who are can provide you the confidence, the reassurance. Those things always help. But if you don't have those, it's really, really important that you understand yourself and your willingness to pursue a venture when there is no income coming in. And you need to learn from the ground up how to operate a business, how to seek sales, how to produce the product, or establish that you are professional in the service that which you are looking to provide. Now, in starting the business, let's say you're confident, you're ready to go. It is never going to be about all of a sudden, I have an idea and let's go explore it. You need to always want to explore the understanding, the foundations of what kind of business that is. If the business you're getting in is something really unique, perhaps you make aquariums, custom aquariums. That's a very niche market, and so the understanding of how to build something like that does require that you have some foundation as far as aquatics and the idea of having an aquarium. What kind of fish can be in aquariums, what can be put in there, how to build them, what are the requirements for those things. So really it's about about understanding the basics of that industry, and then understanding, do you know how to even get started with that? It could be that you already are familiar with building stuff. You're a woodworker as a hobby, you enjoy doing that, but you also have fish in your house, so that could almost be the perfect combination, exploring your abilities as an individual who understands how to do simple engineering tactics for constructing an aquarium, plus your already founded hobby and liking towards an aquarium that has fish or whatever it is in it. So those type of things is a great way to understand that you will, or potentially could, have a passion in doing something that's very niche and does not have a lot of I guess you could say educational information available to you. It's really about hands-on and building a business from the ground up. So in that light, as far as the business, you'll want to know is how to start your business, what it is that you need to build your business, and that's something that we'll start to touch on over time. Now, I have this booklet here, and what I do with it is I go through different journal entries that I have, and as you can see, there are quite a few entries in here. Now, I want to share those with you over time, and so what I'm doing is, this first video is introduction. It's about getting into a small business. It's about me starting to offer you this information. The videos to come may be a bit shorter, might be a bit longer, but they're going to be based on things that I've discovered through owning a business, building it from the ground up, and still being in the weeds, still growing the business, and letting you know what I'm experiencing, because perhaps those might be some things that you will experience on your journey. And it's also, to me, a better perspective to also hear it from someone who is still in it, not just already massively successful. Though I would not say that those who are already successful, you shouldn't listen to them. They have great insights, but there is that sense of that camaraderie for yourself, as well as that he knows, therefore he just went through some that might be relevant to me. Those type of things can help. That's really the main reason why I'm bringing this information to you. So this was the Michael Sweet Journal entry number 0, I guess you could say, which is going to be about getting started as an entrepreneur. Look forward to chatting with you guys on the next one, the next live. So if you do have some comments after this recording, put them in the comments below. I'd love to be able to chat with you, get your thoughts on, are you starting a business? Is that something that you're going to be doing? I want to hear about it. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like this and share with your friends. Subscribe to my channel. I want to get this going and see if it actually becomes something fun. This is definitely a hobby and fun little project of mine, but perhaps for you, it's a wealth of knowledge. Until next time, see you guys then. Take care. And here's the new tagline for everybody. It's the Michael Sweet Journal, and I hope you got some sweet stuff for your small business. Talk to you guys later.